A tractor mechanic walks into Ferrari's office. He's there to complain about a broken clutch. Ferrari tells him to go back to his tractors and stop wasting his time. That insult created one of the most valuable car companies in the world, worth over $11 billion today. But here's the crazy part. The tractor mechanic wasn't wrong. Ferrari was using the exact same clutch he put in his tractors, a part that cost 10 lire in a tractor. Ferrari was charging 1,000 lire for the same piece. So how did a farmer's son with grease under his fingernails build a supercar empire that would rival the man who humiliated him? This is the story of Ferruccio Lamborghini, a man who grew up harvesting grapes on a farm in rural Italy, who never went to engineering school, who built tractors from abandoned war machines, and who took the greatest insult of his life and turned it into the most legendary revenge story in automotive history. Because here's what most people don't know. Lamborghini didn't just build a car to compete with Ferrari. He stole Ferrari's best engineers. He built his factory in Ferrari's backyard. And he created a car so revolutionary that it changed supercars forever. And it all started with 4 words that Enzo Ferrari would regret for the rest of his life. The year is 1916. Ferruccio Lamborghini is born to grape farmers in a small village in northern Italy. His father wants him to work the land, to grow grapes, to live a simple life, but Ferruccio has zero interest in farming. He's obsessed with machines, engines, anything with moving parts. As a teenager, he spends every free moment in his father's workshop, tinkering, rebuilding, taking apart tractors, and putting them back together. Then World War II hits. Ferruccio is drafted into the Italian Air Force, sent to a tiny Greek island called Rhodes, put in charge of vehicle maintenance, and this is where he becomes a genius. With no spare parts and limited resources, Ferruccio keeps trucks, tanks, and military vehicles running using nothing but scrap metal and pure ingenuity. After the war ends, he returns to Italy. The country is destroyed, farms need equipment, but nobody has tractors. So Ferruccio does something brilliant. He finds abandoned military vehicles, strips them down, converts them into tractors. And in 1948, at just 32 years old, he founds Lamborghini Trattori, a tractor company. Within a decade, he's one of the wealthiest men in Italy. By 1962, Ferruccio Lamborghini is living the dream. He owns multiple businesses, a massive estate, and a collection of luxury cars: Jaguars, Maseratis, Mercedes, and 2 Ferraris, a white one for him, a black one for his wife. But there's a problem. The clutch on his Ferrari 250 GT keeps breaking. Over and over again, he's constantly driving back to the Ferrari factory in Maranello for repairs. Finally, Ferruccio gets fed up. He tells his tractor mechanics to take the Ferrari apart and figure out what's wrong. And what they discover shocks him. Ferrari is using the exact same clutch that Lamborghini puts in his tractors. The exact same part, a part that cost Lamborghini 10 lire for his tractors. Ferrari is charging him 1,000 lire 100 times more. For the same piece, Ferruccio is furious. But here's where it gets interesting. He designs a solution. A better clutch, one that won't break. And then he drives to Maranello to meet Enzo Ferrari himself. He waits for hours. Finally, he's let into the office of the great commendatore. Ferruccio explains the problem, shows Ferrari the faulty clutch, offers his engineering solution, and Enzo Ferrari laughs in his face. Lamborghini, you may be able to drive a tractor, but you will never be able to handle a Ferrari properly. Then comes the kill shot. The problem is not the car, it's the driver. Go back to your tractors, farmer. Ferruccio Lamborghini walks out of that office. Not angry, not upset. Determined, he makes a decision in that moment. A decision that will change automotive history. He's going to build a car better than Ferrari. A car that will humiliate the man who just humiliated him. And he's going to do it fast. But here's the problem. Lamborghini doesn't know how to build cars. He builds tractors. So he does something genius. In 1963, Enzo Ferrari gets into a massive fight with his top 5 engineers. His wife is interfering with production. The engineers demand she stop. Ferrari refuses, and he fires all 5 of them on the spot. These aren't just any engineers, these are the best automotive minds in Italy. Carlo Citti, Giotto Bizzarini, the man who designed the engine for the Ferrari 250 GTO. Ferruccio hears about this, and he moves instantly. He contacts them, offers them jobs, unlimited budgets, creative freedom, and they say yes. Within 4 months, Ferruccio builds a factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese, less than 30 miles from Ferrari's headquarters in Maranello. He's building his revenge right in Ferrari's backyard. By March 1964, just over 1 year after the insult, Lamborghini unveils the 350 GT at the Geneva Motor Show. A stunning Grand Tourer, powered by a V12 engine designed by the same man who built Ferrari's engines. The automotive press goes insane. By the end of 1964, Lamborghini sells 13 cars, but Ferruccio isn't satisfied. He wants something more, something that will truly embarrass Ferrari. 1966, Geneva Motor Show. Lamborghini unveils a car that will change everything. The Miura, named after a breed of Spanish fighting bulls, just like Lamborghini's zodiac sign, Taurus. And this car? It's unlike anything the world has ever seen. The engine is mounted behind the driver, transversely. In the middle of the car, nobody has ever done this before in a production car. It's pure racing technology. In a street-legal supercar, the Miura is low, sleek, aggressive, with scissor doors that open upward like a bull's horns. It can hit 170 miles per hour faster than any Ferrari at the time. When the doors open at the Geneva show, the crowd loses their minds. Lamborghini's sales director, Ubaldo Scarzi, is flooded with orders. Instantly. But here's the crazy part, Ferruccio doesn't even think the car will sell. He thinks it's too wild, too impractical. He only built it as a showpiece. Then something happens that changes his mind. Just before the 1966 Monaco Grand Prix, Ferruccio parks a bright orange Miura outside the Hotel de Paris in Monte Carlo. He has an employee sit in the car revving the V12 engine. Casino Square fills with onlookers. Cameras flash. People are mesmerized, and in that single afternoon, Lamborghini receives 17 new orders. The Miura goes into full production. Between 1966 and 1973, Lamborghini builds 764 Miuras. At $20,000 each, in the 1960s, that's almost $200,000 in today's money. The car becomes a legend, featured in movies, owned by celebrities, worshipped by car enthusiasts. And Enzo Ferrari? He never speaks to Ferruccio Lamborghini again. So here's what you need to understand. Lamborghini wasn't built by a car expert, it wasn't built by a racing legend, it wasn't built by someone with a lifelong dream of making supercars. It was built by a tractor mechanic, a man who was insulted, dismissed, told to stay in his lane. And instead of accepting that insult, he turned it into fuel. Ferruccio Lamborghini proved something that most people never understand. Your background doesn't define you. Your critics don't define you. What defines you is what you do when someone tells you that you can't. Enzo Ferrari thought he was putting a farmer in his place. Instead, he created his greatest competitor, because sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do to someone is underestimate them. Lamborghini's symbol is a bull. Strong, stubborn, unstoppable. And that's exactly what Ferruccio was. A bull who refused to back down. Today, every Lamborghini on the road carries that same spirit, that same defiance, and it all started with 4 words. Go back to your tractors, farmer, the greatest insult in automotive history, and the revenge that changed supercars forever.